All the insight and analysis of the Cougars, Utes, and the rest of the conference. Live from Frisco, Texas, this is Big 12 Media Day coverage on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Presented by Omada Real Estate. Buying or selling a home? Trust the experts at Omada Real Estate.
Time to talk a little Arizona football. Joining us now, defensive end Tre Smith from the Arizona Wildcats. Kind enough to carve out some time for us. Tre, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you asking.
Man, you know what? We were just joking off the air. This isn't really any player and any coach's really ideal situation to go around and talk to a bunch of media schlubs. But it is a chance to talk about your program and talk about your team and your teammates and what you've got building there. Fun team last year. Expectations now. You know, the reward for having a good year is people expect a better year. How are things there in Tucson getting ready for this season?
It's been great, man. You know, we're all just working together as a team, constantly building with the standard set, and now it's just the standard is the standard, you know, maintaining that every day. And I just want to go back and say it's an honor to be here talking to you guys. So, you know, I appreciate
We appreciate
y'all.
that.
I saw that you had a season-ending injury pretty early last year.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing? How's your health? And obviously one of the most impactful edge rushers on the team, so it's going to be important for you to maintain that health. Tell me how you're feeling.
I'm doing great. I'm back in everything and feeling great, man. Stronger than I've ever been, faster than I've ever been, so I'm ready to go. And I would say it's all divine timing, you know.
Always.
The Lord has a plan for all of us, so.
Cool. I like that. The Cats, you know, they've had an interesting run the last few years. And me being – and I grew up in Phoenix, as I said, so I went to ASU, but I still, you know, I follow both teams and all that stuff. And, you know, we know Jet Fish was there, had a good season, and Brandon comes down from where you were, San Jose.
Yes, sir.
And first year not so good, and then last year a big surprise. And my thought, and really this applies for both of the schools in my home state, is you got to find a way to be consistent. Now, you guys won 10 games last year, right? And you got Fafita back, so expectations are high. What have you guys been doing once the off-season conditioning stuff started and everybody got back to campus to make sure you could actually build upon that and not level off?
I would say the most important thing, right, is to learn from last year and learn from previous years, but don't let that get to your head because that's not who we are. We're not that team anymore, you know. All the pieces are different players. I would like to say – I was going to say the standard's the same, but it's not really because we're always looking to be better.
Yeah.
You got your 6th year, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is your 6th year.
Yes.
So you're kind of the older statesman. Do you enjoy that role of being kind of like the veteran leader, the guy that takes guys under your wing and kind of shows them the ropes?
Yeah, I feel like – so honestly, that's an interesting question you asked because I just kind of found that answer within myself this year. And I would say that relates to my purpose overall as a human being. Like, as a younger guy, I didn't really have to do that. I always did the right thing and just was like, yep, I did my work, so I'm good. And now I'm understanding that I'm being put in these positions for a reason because I've been given that capacity to have a positive impact on others. And this goes even just beyond football. So I know that was a long answer, but
no, I
yes,
think that's great.
I'm blessed and very privileged.
Well, I mean, that shows a lot of maturity, too, because I know even though you've been playing college football for a bit, still, I mean, you're a young dude, and to be able to have that knowledge about your overall purpose and role, not just as a player but as a leader in that locker room, shows a lot of maturity on your part. Where does that come from?
I would say a lot of it's probably my upbringing. Just, you know, my parents, I feel like they raised me to be a well-mannered individual to the best of their ability, and otherwise just life experience, you know. Like, this is my 6th year. I've learned a lot, been through a lot of hardships, and I didn't know what to think of it at first, but I'm blessed because it's what formed me into who I am. It gave me perspective, you know.
The quarterback situation there, obviously solid with Fafita. What kind of leader is he? Because I can tell you this, I love watching him run around and dodge the rush and find somebody downfield and deliver it. But what kind of leader is he?
He's a great leader. He's somebody that can touch every piece of the locker room. And this is my favorite thing that I look for in people. It's because of his heart and who he is as a human. Like, we all know he's a dog, right? Everybody knows that. but he is such a great guy, and he knows how to talk to people. He knows how to get guys going the right way. So I think that's the biggest thing about him.
Since you've been in college for a while, what have you been studying? I assume that maybe even this year might be taking some advanced work.
Not this year, actually. So I got my degree last year in interdisciplinary studies with sports and society emphasis. I reclassified my major this year just to really focus on ball and lock in for this last year. But I should have graduated end of 2024. But because I transferred, it got pushed back a little bit.
So what do you hope to do? I mean, obviously everybody wants the NFL, but you got to have a backup plan.
Yeah, man, I can't say that I have a set plan, but I'm a guy that's always thinking about something. So I'm kind of just trusting in the Lord and having faith it's all going to work out. But I know, just like this role, kind of what I was saying about football earlier, I didn't necessarily know I was going to be in a position of leadership. It kind of just happened for me. And I think in life it will be the same because I believe I'm here to inspire others, truly.
Just stay away from the media. Nobody likes those guys, man.
Especially the ones from, like, the Phoenix area generally.
Oh,
Hey,
what's up with that?
We got Taye coming up. Any good stories you want us to lead? You any questions you want us to ask him?
Let me think of a question for Taye Brown.
Somebody put him on the spot, but, radio friendly, of course.
Nah. I don't know. Taye Brown's a great guy.
Okay.
I admire him a lot, too. Same thing. Great guy and really hard worker. He's an extremely great human.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you go, man. Congratulations on the season, getting that 6th year, and go out and have a great season.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
Good
you
luck.
all.
Great stuff. Tre Smith right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. As we continue on with the Arizona Wildcats and coming up to the headset right now, linebacker, third team All Big 12, and just had a great season last year with that Arizona defense. And again, Taye Brown, kind enough to join us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, so we gave Tre an opportunity to throw you under the bus, and he's like, nope, not going to do it. Good dude, good leader, great guy, and he goes, I don't have any stories to share. Just know that he's a good dude in the locker room. When you have that kind of camaraderie, what does that mean to your team?
It means a lot. I mean, it definitely helps, especially later in the season. When people are dinged up, people getting tired. It's definitely great to rally up and come together as a brother and just remember all the hard work you put in and just make sure it doesn't go to waste.
You look at this defense, you lost a great secondary, right? Which it's funny because, I'm a Phoenix guy, and it seems like the U of A, for whatever reason, just always had great defensive backs over the years and really locked down guys. And you guys, I think you led the country in pass efficiency. You had 31 takeaways. Which was like almost 2.5 a game, blah, blah, blah. Now those guys are gone, and we just spoke to a guy who's up front, and you being the linebacker yourself, thinking maybe you guys need to take more of a we got to get after it type of thing because the guys behind us they're not going to be maybe they're a little newer this year, so get the pressure on the quarterback starting from the front to take the pressure off those guys on the back.
I mean, that's definitely always the goal to get pressure, take the stress off the guys in the back. But I feel like, losing such great guys, we also brought great guys in the portal, and we had some guys step up, some younger guys step up. So I mean, I feel like I'm really excited to see, how they do this year, and I'm not really like worried about our secondary. Really, I feel like we're gonna have a really, really great secondary again, and I'm looking forward to it.
There's a lot of different ways to attack things, but one thing I like in terms of the word used to describe you is diligent. One of your coaches said, the fact that you, even after going through, things, you'll go back through, take notes, be very, very diligent. Yeah. Where'd you learn that? Where'd you get your work ethic?
Man, I just feel like growing up, I've always been told to just keep my head down and work. Just by my parents and by my brothers, keep my head down and work because I feel like I've been overlooked my whole life, and just keep your head down and work. Everything will work out. So I feel like I've just taken that and ran with it, and I feel like it's worked out for me.
I'm a big fan. I covered him when he was at San Jose State, but Brent Brennan is a really good coach. He's really great to work with. He seems like he relates to this younger generation very well. What really jumps out to you when you see him as a coach and what he brings to the table?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great coach. He's a great person overall too. He's the type of coach to want to know like about you as a person. You know your family, you know your girlfriend, know everybody. And I feel like that's really important, just to like know your players like on a deeper level besides football. I feel like it just helps the relationship grow and it helps the team grow. And he also just brings juice every day. You know, even some days he probably he doesn't feel like bringing it. He's tired. He still brings it every day because, you know, we're counting on him and he's counting on us.
You came down with him from San Jose, right?
No, I did not. Yeah.
So it was before?
I've been at U of A. I came in.
I'm looking at Tre Smith. That's right. Yeah.
No,
He went to Red Mountain. You went to Hamilton.
I did, yes, sir.
Yeah. And then you stayed the whole time.
Yep.
How did that work as far as why you chose the U of A? And then, you know, obviously in this transfer portal, then when you have a coaching change and all, kids can scatter or whatever, but you stayed.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like me personally, I'm not really big on like leaving. Nothing wrong with it, but I just feel like I'm not big on that. I'm big on just staying with it and just hearing what Coach Brennan had to say just about the program and stuff. You know, I originally came to U of A because of the family atmosphere it brought, and it was great, and the brotherhood and the culture we had going on. And then and what he was talking about, it was pretty similar. It was pretty similar, if not better. So I feel like just hearing that, I just wanted to trust in him and believe in him and trust in the coaches that he brought in with Coach G and Coach Bringell on the defensive side. So, I mean, I feel like I'm really glad I stayed. I made the right decision.
Well, you talk about your defensive coordinator, Danny Gonzalez.
Yeah.
The dude is a mastermind,
yeah.
But it's a very complex defense. How hard is that to you know, he's a disciple of Rocky Long and that crazy defense. How hard is that to learn? Because you're kind of the voice of the linebackers. You're kind of the quarterback of that defense. Is that how much responsibility do you have to essentially run that complex defense?
You know, Coach G, he puts a lot of faith in me into making the right checks out there. Defense definitely is complex. You know, at first learning it was definitely challenging. It didn't really make sense to me. You know, it took probably took like a month or like a couple weeks to get like the basic stuff down, but it's very like conceptual. So I mean, I feel like all the basic stuff, it ties into all the complex stuff. So once you know all the basic things, you know, it's just it all tie in. And I mean, now it's like pretty simple, you know, because I'm just in the film room in the off season, you know, just making sure that I know my stuff so I can help out the younger guys and everybody else on defense. So I know my job, the D-line job, and the DB's jobs, so, you know, I can go out there and play to the best of my ability.
When you watch that tape, because, you know, the way that you approach things, and you look to me to be a really detailed dude.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that stand out last year as you watch yourself that you want to improve this year?
And
even if they're minor things, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely. I'll probably say just, like, finishing plays, because, like, I'll be in the right spot, you know, I'll be in the right spot, make the right read, but sometimes I'll over-pursue it, and I'll get cut back on or I'll take the wrong angle or stuff like that. So I feel like just finishing plays will definitely be super beneficial for me.
Appreciate you coming by.
Awesome.
Good luck this season.
I appreciate it.
Tell Danny hi for me. He's a good guy.
Thank you.
He actually, when he was at New Mexico, there was I do the play-by-play for Utah State.
Okay, cool.
And we were playing a game down there around Thanksgiving, and he invited, like, the broadcast crew to go over to his house for Thanksgiving. I'm like, I'm not going over to your house for Thanksgiving, but genuinely good dude.
Yeah,
and fired up for you.
Awesome. I appreciate
good luck, man.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you too.
We're going to shift gears, go from Arizona and that defense to West Virginia. Talk some offensive line. The Iron Man of that West Virginia offensive line, kind enough to join us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's okay.
You're
big.
all good.
You're a big guy.
You're all good, man.
It's
no
all
worries.
Good. I like the fact that you're already moving stuff.
Yeah.
You're just knocking things
That's
over.
That's the
Human
job.
beings, tables, what?
You know, we had a Nick Krahe. Did I say that right? Or
Yes, sir.
So we had a coach once who put on a headset and he just snapped it in half. And he's like, "Oh, sorry about that." I was like, "Geez, that's a $300 headset." So we're used to getting thrown around a little bit. But talk about this offensive line there at West Virginia and what it's like playing for a Rich Rod system.
I love Coach Rod, obviously, but we also brought in Coach Trickett this offseason, so that's been good, going back to the old style of play. But, bringing in guys with experience that we brought in through the transfer portal and everything, and also having a good freshman class is going to help us, and we're really kind of gelling together right now.
I've heard great things. Never been there, but I've heard great things about the atmosphere at West Virginia. Talk about what some of the things that stand out or make that kind of unique.
I think when people talk about the atmosphere of West Virginia, you got to think about having 60,000 fans in the stands, singing country roads after a big win.
Well, it's almost heaven, right?
Yeah, almost heaven. So that's the number one thing that comes to my mind.
You watch that soccer team, you're like, hey, man, that's our song. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, come on. But that's also kind of cool, because the song gets put out there to the whole world. And then
that's your brand, baby.
Yeah, that is our brand for sure.
Last year, obviously, his first year coming back, he'd been there several years prior, brought in, I don't know what the record is, but it seemed like West Virginia, in terms of transfers, had to be at the top of the list. And I'm an Arizona guy. I've spent a lot of my life in the state, so I watched U of A when he was there, know that he's just a brilliant offensive mind. So I watched West Virginia to see what he can do. I thought that, you went through a rough stretch in the middle of the season, but I thought at the end, the Texas Tech game got away from you. But even the ASU loss was very, very close, and you'd won a couple of ball games. So the point being, what's the mindset going into this season coming off his first season where I thought there was some progress made along the line?
Just kind of buying into the culture, but also just showing improvement on the field. I mean, I knew what we were capable of last year, and we didn't show that. So, just kind of trying to do that this year and really playing up to our abilities.
You're, you play one of the arguably tougher positions with contact time and time again, but you played a team-high 873 snaps. What does that say about you as a player and the toughness that goes along with that?
I never want to get taken off the field. I want to be out there every single snap, every single game, really just kind of putting my best effort out there, and I'll be on the field no matter what. I'll make them drag me off the field, honestly.
I love it, man. And the one thing, too, about a Rich Rod offense, everybody says as a player they want to play fast, but the amount of conditioning that goes into having to play that fast, especially a man of your size, that's not an easy thing to do.
Everyone says they want to play fast till they truly play fast like this. But, the conditioning part, our strength staff does a great job putting us through the runs and everything. So I think just being ready for that is big.
What's your music go-to? Like, what is Nick when he wants to, let go?
Are we pregame music or just music every day?
I would say just every day.
Road trip music.
Country. I'm country music.
You're country music
100% of the time.
Like old school country or newer country, or where are you at? Give us specifics.
I like
who's your
2010 country. So like Jason Aldean, I'm into Luke Combs too, obviously, but I can also go to George Strait or anything like that.
Old Dominion.
They're not bad. Not my go-to.
Not your go-to.
Kenny?
Nah.
Kenny Chesney? Yep. That's pretty good. Seen him in concert a couple times.
Yeah, so have I.
He's part of the Chesney Army over there. How many times you seen him?
Oh, probably 15. We were in Vegas once, and it was at the Hard Rock. They don't even have it. And it's a real small venue. It was the hotel, and they had a little concert hall. And so we're right there. You can the sweat can pour off his body. In fact, here we are, right? So we're in front, and that's Kenny, right?
Yeah.
And that's obviously my wife. And so we went to see him 2 nights in a row.
Okay.
Right? And the second night, we were right there. And he's singing, and he's right there, right? And he's singing, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, he takes the microphone away, and he says, looking over my left shoulder, he puts his hands by his heart, and he goes, "Thank you." I thought, what the heck? Is he flirting with my wife? Well, I didn't know. She's like this, giving the heart sign. And right in the middle of the tune, he takes the mic away and says, "Thank you," right during the middle of the song. So he gave her and me, for that matter, a lifetime memory.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I had morphed. I was a classic rock dude, but I'm totally country now.
Yeah.
And if I hear Amarillo by morning, I'm standing up right now.
Great song.
Oh, that's old school right
Well,
there.
he said George Strait.
Yeah.
He said it. I'm using his
Waylon
his
Jennings.
Yeah, I've listened to some Waylon Jennings before.
Ramblin' Man.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yep. Great
That's
song.
the one.
Great song.
And then, of course, John Denver.
Yeah.
Bring it full circle.
When you look at this team and expectations, it really feels like the momentum's brewing there in West Virginia. You got to be excited about this upcoming year.
Oh, I'm pumped, man. Coming off last year, didn't have the year we wanted, but this year, just kind of trying to right the ship and everything like that. Yeah.
Well, let's go, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. Good luck, and knock some dudes around. Should be fun.
See you in Utah on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
we'll
the
be
end
here.
of the season there.
Hey, when we come up pregame and, get in your face, you start talking country music, you'll know it's us.
Yeah.
And just October 10th, I got one request. Just kick the crap out of the U of A because I'm an ASU guy.
Okay. We'll do.
Do you say that after Taye leaves?
Yeah. Thanks, Nick, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys
Nick.
for having me.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, come back. This is fun, man. I always love talking to these guys. Just good dudes. It's all right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You can't live without. This is Big 12 Media Day coverage live from Frisco, Texas. Presented by Omada Real Estate. Buying or selling a home? Trust the experts at Omada Real Estate. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is Big 12 Media Day. Sky Gerard, the coach Tim Lacombe, Patrick Hanahan, and you can't talk Big 12 football or the Big 12 Conference without bringing in the legendary.
This guy is a legend.
Barry Tramel. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm great. I'll be honest with you. I'm having a swell time just meeting all my friends from Utah. Had dinner with all my Oklahoma people, and not all that committed to the league. Apparently, they drove home at 6:30 last night.
Oh, because Oklahoma State was
Yeah,
done?
because OSU was finished, and I don't know what they were thinking. But anyway, so I actually ended up having dinner with 3 Utah writers last night. So we had a great time. So got to see all my pals at Brigham Young. And, I don't know the Utes crowd that well yet. But I got to meet some of them. So, I enjoyed it. I learned a lot about the state of Utah last night because, I love geography. So they lectured me. They informed me about I had all kinds of questions about Logan and Ogden and St. George and where's
Provo.
I'm
knows
pretty well
Provo.
versed on Provo. Where's
been
Utah? Is Utah Valley and St. George? Oh, Orem. Okay,
Yeah.
Orem.
It's just right off the freeway. It's the university exit.
So you
When
pass
you
it
get
on
off,
your way to
it's right
BYU.
there.
Oh, that's right next to Provo. What's where's
Cedar City.
Cedar City. Cedar City's the
Southern
one I was
Utah,
thinking.
yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of, Cedar City, yeah.
Well, all the appearances you made on radio, you're pretty much an honorary
he is,
member of the
100%.
Utah media.
His voice is very familiar.
Yeah, I listen more, so that's kind of how I got
Tim
into
coached basketball at BYU and Utah, and then joined us here
In April.
a couple months ago.
Fantastic.
But I've heard you enough, through the years because I just listened to these guys all the time when I was coaching. I was like, that's Barry Tramel. Let's grab him.
Sometimes you're born with things that you'd think could be a detriment, but you can turn them into a strength, and one of them's my voice. I got about the most oaky voice anybody's ever
I think
had.
it's the coolest
And
voice on the planet.
You can't run from it, so you might as well embrace it. So, when you get this old, you got to stand out somehow.
Yeah, that
So-
and the white hair. You've had that white hair for a good long while. Yesterday, our guy, Brett Yormark, right off the bat, now's not the time to talk about Texas Tech. Well, he's supposed to come on, and my first question is, when's it going to be time? All right, you don't want to talk about it here, but you said now's not the time, which implies that there's going to be a time. Yeah. What did you think of all that give and take? Because you got I looking on social media, the Texas Tech media thinking they're hitting them hard, and then the outside media, come on, guys, quit being apologists for this. So you got that going back and forth.
First of all, you're right, Brett. Straight on, the Big 12 screwed up. The way you handle that, if you don't want to take questions all day, I understand that, but you come out and say, listen, I know we've had a rough summer with Tech. Tech went through some trouble with Brennan Sorsby. No fault of theirs. But we worked through it, and this is, give a statement and explain it, in the most polished way you want, and then say, and we're not going to talk about it anymore because we got football to talk about. It's not fair to Tech to drag it through. But just to say, we're not going to talk about it. This is not the time. This is not the time. You said, when is the time?
Yeah.
Yesterday was the only time.
And then get rid of it. Then it's done.
Yeah, and literally there's not a better time to do it. Mm-hmm. That's the only time. And they passed on it. Well, I mean, does Brett Yormark have a monthly press conference?
Yeah, I know.
Is he on the teleconference? No. I mean, that was the time. But then you have somebody asked a decent question to start with, and that's when he said we're not going to talk about it. And then the yard bird from Lubbock. he somehow pulled in. He pulled in OSU's paddle people.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
They're catching strays.
Cincinnati.
And, somehow the tortilla, the tortilla flats problem, and then tying all that in and got the victim mentality. The
yard bird.
Listen, the guy deserved it, but it was still a little icky because of the way Brett did it. The guy's on one end and Brett's on the other end of the.
And what do you do? You tell him to come closer or
no,
something?
he says
stand up.
He walked all the way to the other end.
Is that what it was? Because we're down here. We're on the
He
opposite
walked
end
all the
doing
way
radio.
to the end, and then and the guy didn't stand up. And you're supposed to stand up, and
Oh,
the
okay.
cameras can get you. And he didn't stand up. So Brett said, "Stand up." And he didn't say this, but like you're supposed to. And then he said, and repeat the question. And the guy must either memorize the question or repeated it.
I think he had it written down, didn't he?
I mean, maybe written down or either one. I didn't see if he's sitting right but close to me. But he repeated the question almost verbatim. And Brett, like any smart interviewee, he took the little piece of thing that he could really attack and forgot all the rest, which, I mean, I don't know what to say about the paddle people myself. But Brett had said, we're more than 12 or something, talking about
Yeah.
And the guy said, how are tech people supposed to believe that?
Right.
I got very little patience for victims mentality.
Yeah.
That just wears me out.
It's so prevalent.
So, but Brett said, you're misquoting me. I didn't say that. I said, we're strong at 16. Thank you for your question. And that's the only thing he addressed. The whole thing was a fiasco.
I appreciate your question.
Yeah.
The craziness of all of this, though, is I think all of us just assume that, the judge would say, you can't play. Come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
that's
it
right.
seemed like the one thing that actually brought everybody together in college football was a disdain of Texas Tech and this Brandon Sorsby. For once, everybody seemed to be on the same page.
Everybody in America agreed because it's just so black-letter law, right? I mean, it's ingrained in our society. Back when baseball was king, people learned in 1920, you can't do this or it could kill the game. And then all of a sudden, they did find a good judge. Now,
That may have been the judge asking the question yesterday.
I could neither confirm nor deny whether it was. But talking about what Brett could have done, I thought is one of the Big 12's finest hours because look how often courts are deciding stuff and we don't have – it seems like whatever anybody wants they get in court.
Yeah.
Just find the right judge, the right court, you're golden.
Right.
And the Big 12, the little old Big 12, not the conglomerate conference of the Big 10, not the crazy conference of the SEC that rules the world, the Big 12 had the legal smarts to hire lawyers to, run a counterplay and beat those guys.
Right. They had to.
I was lucky. I actually had, talking about court, one of the guys that's won in court this summer is Owen Heineke, the Oklahoma linebacker. Mm-hmm. He played 15 minutes of lacrosse in 22 and then transferred to Oklahoma, went out for the football team, made the football team, and now he was seeking an extra year because that 15 minutes of lacrosse counted against him. NCAA denied his appeal, so he sued. And he got and he won the injunction. Actually, the judge is a friend of mine, Thad Balkman, who's a BYU grad.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd been in Oklahoma forever, was in the state legislature. And Thad's a really sharp guy, and we had lunch, and he explained why he ruled for Heineke, and he said there's just too much exceptions by the NCAA. He said he's a pretty easy case. Pretty easy case for him, he thought. But anyway, the guy who defended and won that case for Heineke, I had never met him. The lawyer, I met him at the court hearing, and he said, let's have lunch someday. We scheduled a lunch, and we literally had lunch 2 hours after the Big 12 filed that federal case. So I got it fresh on his mind, and he explained the whole thing to me, and he said it was a brilliant judicial, legal maneuver. He said not everybody would think to do this, but he said as soon as I saw it, I said that's exactly the proper move, and that's probably going to carry the day. Turned out it did. And so that's something to be proud of for the Big 12. I mean, they
stood up.
They should,
and they had to.
And they should stand up and say, "Listen, we all love Tech. We all love Brendan Sorsby. We wish him well, but we can't gamble on our own team's games." And we found a way to work it out. So I thought they should have done that also, but they didn't.
So when you look at the conference, I think everybody, even without Sorsby, has Texas Tech 1. BYU 2, and then maybe Utah, Arizona, like 3, 4 in that. Would you agree with that?
I think when Sorsby got flipped out, I think I'd move BYU to the top. I think Will Hammond's a good prospect, but if Will Hammond was all that in a bag of chips, two things. They wouldn't have spent $5 million on Brendan Sorsby, and they wouldn't have tossed their reputation out the window in trying to keep him. So, I mean, I think he could be a really good quarterback, but I think we don't know that yet. We know Sorsby's good. I watched him several times last year. He's really good. He was going to help Tech. That was going to be a big upgrade. Now I don't know if Tech will have an upgrade at quarterback. Maybe they will, but I don't know that they will. BYU is going to be a lot better at quarterback this year because Bachmeier, second year, sort of got thrown in the fire as a true freshman and played really well and solid, but he's going to be way better this year, I think. So I'm pretty optimistic about the Cougars.
Yeah. What do you anticipate from Morgan Scally?
You know much?
I don't know much about him.
You followed, I mean, obviously looked up his resume and where he's been. He's obviously been right there with Kyle.
And let me just say this. More than 50% of what I know about Morgan Scally I learned last night from my Utah guys that really educated me on stuff.
Well, an Oklahoma guy at the Tribune where I used to work is on the beat, Jason.
That's right. Jason, that's who I had dinner with, plus the two KSL guys who cover the BYUs and the Utah.
Our digital guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I like Scally's I like his youth. When I hear about a long-time assistant coach, I always think of somebody older than 40. Is he 40? I think
46.
He's 46?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like the fact that he's still in his prime.
Sure.
But has been around forever.
Yes.
That strikes me as a good combination. And keeping your culture. I know the Whittingham departure was strange and fractured and all kinds of political stuff going on, which I don't claim to understand. But Scally was able to keep most of it together. Fortunate that Whittingham, I think, went to a place that had a quarterback. Yeah. So it was sort of clear that Dampier was going to stay.
Yeah.
I think Dampier's better than Bryce Underwood. So, the 5-5 deal.
He might be right now.
Yeah.
Maybe long term. NFL-wise, because Devin's shorter. But I get your point. He's ready to go today.
I think he's a better college quarterback. I don't
think there's any question
Michigan
about that.
played at Oklahoma last year, and I know he's a true freshman, but paying him a ton of million.
He
made a ton of
get
money.
beat out by Carr's younger brother.
He just wasn't
the Notre
that
Dame
good.
guy. Right.
He just wasn't that good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I like Dampier a lot. I assume Scally's defense will be solid. So I like Utah pretty high up. And Houston, I would add to the list and make a top 5. I love Willie Fritz. All he does is win ball games. And Arizona is my favorite story. Noah Fafita is my favorite story in college football.
Stayed loyal.
Nobody does that.
Everybody jumped ship.
And if somebody said you're the creator of the universe, you get to decide who wins the national title this year, I might say Arizona. I think it would be fabulous if that happened at Arizona, just because this is a guy, he's had 3 seasons as a starting quarterback. 2 of them were great seasons. 1, he wasn't very good. That sophomore year, he went down. But freshman and junior, he was really good. And anybody in America would love to have him and tried, I'm sure, to get him.
I think he's a great passer. He's a great college quarterback. The only reason he's not in the NFL is he's too short.
Yeah, he's a short
kid. If
kid.
he was 6'2", he'd be in the NFL right now.
What is he, 5'10" or so?
At best.
I covered when he was a freshman, they beat Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah.
When a wild shootout. I mean, I mean, it was sort of an interesting. Him and Jackson Arnold were up against each other, and Fafita clearly was better.
Yeah.
And
He's a very good quarterback.
So I love Fafita in Arizona.
I got a tidbit for you that you might be able to use somewhere down the line on Morgan Scalley. So he's his senior year is Urban's last year, right? And they bust the BCS and they go and do what they did there on all that great season. Urban goes on to Florida, blah blah blah. Well,
it's 04, right?
Yeah,
they beat Pitt.
Yeah, they hammered him in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
And they hammered everybody that year. So Morgan's not sure what to do. So in 2005, we had at the time, so DJ and I have been we're in our 25th year of doing this crazy morning show, right? So we were, we would have been 3 years into it. They had a thing right after us. They call it the Red and the Blue. They had an ex-BYU guy and an ex-Utah guy. And for a year, right after our show, the ex-Utah guy was Morgan Scalley.
Really?
The sports radio guy.
He did a year of radio.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
it does. Yeah.
And
so
then-
I saw him every day. He was on.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we went from 6 to 10. That show went from 10 to noon.
Maybe I'll ask him about that
Yeah.
today. I'll ask him if he made the right decision getting out of radio.
Yeah, so we had him on this morning because, of course, we know him. He's a local
Yeah.
kid, played local high school ball.
Okay.
So we've known him almost, since he was 14 years old, and I saw him every day. So we said, "Yeah, you're one of us, man. If you can do it, that gives us a chance. We can do
We
it
can
too."
be a head coach, too.
And obviously, he took a sacrifice in terms of the money because, we're just killing it over
So
here.
that might be something you can
Oh, that'd be
put out
fun.
there. Yeah,
That'll be fun.
He
You
did it
think
for
you
the
guys,
whole year.
Let me ask you guys think, will he be able to create or maintain the same kind of just consistency that Whittingham did for 20 years? I mean, that's
I think the only thing that would stand in the way is NIL money, and they got this private equity thing, and I'm sure you've heard about that. As long as they can be competitive financially, I just don't see a reason
Why
why
they
it
couldn't.
would drop off.
no, I don't either. I don't either.
And culture's the key. And when we talked today, we asked Morgan kind of what he's hoping for, and he said that the culture shows up on the field. So he's invested in the right things. He's been doing it so long, and I do think there's parts of it too that he'll, like every guy, they'll come in and put their own little, their own personality into the deal. I think it'll be a little more loose. I mean, I think Kyle liked things super tight, but at the same time, I think that culture will be the difference.
You'll cover that Oklahoma at Michigan game, right?
Right, I'm going to the big house.
Yeah, and obviously that's Kyle's second game, huge game.
Yeah.
Well, Morgan admits this. The defensive philosophy, which is at BYU right now too, it comes from Kyle's father, Fred Whittingham, who's deceased. He played, was a defensive, played in the NFL a little bit, but longtime defensive coordinator, coach in the NFL, coached at BYU under Lavelle Edwards, went to Utah under Ron McBride. So everybody, Kyle, Morgan, Gary Anderson, who was at Utah State,
Oregon
and then
State,
Oregon
yeah.
State, and
Wisconsin.
Yeah. He's a Utah kid, and so he learned it. Kalani spent 10 years under Kyle, so he learned it. And now Gary is essentially, what would you call him, a special assistant at BYU? Yeah. So he's on the BYU staff. So and Kelly Papinga, who's now the defensive coordinator, first year. His brother Brady played in the NFL a long time. He said, I've never coached under a Whittingham, but we run the Fred Whittingham defense. And Fred has been gone for 20 years now.
Oh, wow. Was he a high school coach? Or?
He played at BYU a little bit, then left, went to Cal Poly as San Luis Obispo. Played in the NFL, was on the Saints and I think Cowboys. And then he was with the Rams. Was he with the Raiders?
I think it was just the Rams.
The Rams. But he coached at BYU under Lavelle because he played for him. And then he was a coordinator. And Kyle was a linebacker.
So he was Lavelle's coordinator.
Yeah, and then he was also at Utah under Ron McBride, which is when they hired Kyle out of Idaho State. And then Fred left, and then Kyle took over as a D coordinator.
So now that defense is finally being exported out of the state of Utah.
Yeah.
To Michigan. Well, that's interesting.
Well, Barry, we appreciate you coming by, man.
You bet. Enjoy it all the time.
Legendary Barry Tramel.
Thanks for having me, guys.
The legend himself.
Yeah.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm sure you'll hear that voice on our station throughout the
on our show.
On your show. Look, we won't steal. Lloyd would never do that.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, joining us now, let's go back to Arizona and chance to chat with
small guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad he's sitting by you if you get out of line over there.
Yeah, I'm a Sun Devil. I graduated from ASU, but I'm going to be proper right now.
Tristan Bounds, kind enough to join us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. By the way, how's the ankle?
Ankle's great.
So talk us through the story, like the whole drive, right? Broken ankle?
No, just one play.
Just
the whole drive sounds better.
I like the story of the whole drive, but you played a game-winning drive with a broken ankle.
Yeah, I played one snap. Really, thanks in all honesty to Chuba May, our left guard. I got kind of rolled up, and before I really knew what was going on, I just stuck my hand up like, hey, somebody help me up, and that dude is so strong. He just yanked me up off the floor. I was on my feet before I even knew what happened.
Wow.
And so
he bench pressed you, deadlift you.
Yeah, just literally pulled me off my feet up on the ground. And at that point, I'm already up. I'm standing. I kind of take a second, look at the down distance situation, and I hear coming off the sideline our hurry up tempo. So really not a ton of thinking into it. Just kind of we got to go. This is an important situation. Ended up being a game-winning drive for us. And so got my stance, lined up, tried to do what I do to the best of my ability. I don't know if you've seen the clip. It didn't look extremely pretty. I was hopping. But I got enough of a hand on him for Noah to get the ball out, got a first down.
That's all
that is, I mean, so much that we talk about is detail, in football, but I think grit has got to be right there too. I mean, the average fan turns the TV on when they're ready and watches a game in air conditioning.
No doubt.
Somebody misses a pass and catch it. But at the end of the day, the physicality of football and what you're involved in on a play-to-play basis is just crazy. Talk about the physicality at that level.
Yeah, I mean, so just to be honest with you, that's probably my favorite thing about football is the physicality.
I would be too if I was as big as you. Yeah.
And it's what draws me to it. I think it's extremely interesting to play a sport where the things that I do on Saturdays would get me arrested if I did them anywhere else.
That's the best way to say it.
You put your hands on people the way that we train and strive to put our hands on people on Saturdays, you'd be doing 5 to 10 somewhere. And we're rewarded for it, praised for it. So, I think that's awesome. But our O-line coach, he does an excellent job setting the standard and a mentality of we're the baddest dudes no matter where we are. We'll put the ball down in the lunchroom, Frisco, Texas, with the Chicago Bears. That's, we're going to go do what we do and do it to the best of our ability, and the outcome will be the outcome.
Tell us how you ended up in Arizona. You're a Maryland kid who played 3 or 4 years at Michigan.
4 years at Michigan.
And then you end up in the desert.
Yeah. Definitely a change of pace, change of scenery. But for me, it was really about the people and the culture. Much less the destination. I had an amazing experience my time at Michigan, but after that 4th year, felt like it was time for a change and got to get around Coach Brennan, Coach Dagey, Coach Oglesby, as well as the guys that, I'm around every day, Noah, Alexander Deuce, my right guard, both of whom I met on my visit, and just felt like a place that I could call home pretty easily. And, looking back on it now, couldn't have made a better choice.
This offense took a jump up last year. Noah Fafita had a phenomenal year. Expectations are very high for your team this year. What's the vibe in that locker room coming into this squad or this year?
Yeah, I mean, even last year, when the preseason stuff came out, and I think we were picked dead last. The vibe has not changed. It's about us. Coach Dagey sets that mentality of our goal is to be the best and most explosive offense in the country. And so that's still the vibe, still the goal, and our guys are always hungry. The easy trap to fall into is there's preseason hype, and to start looking at that and think that you've made it or you're good, and that's the furthest thing from the case. We're extremely hungry. Last year did not go the way that we wanted it to. It's not enough to be good. We want to be champions. So, there's work to be done to accomplish that, and I think everybody in the locker room knows it.
What do you do off the field for fun? Like, what's your go-to?
Oh, and this is live too, right?
Oh yeah,
perfect. So,
and the camera's right there if you want to just, you know.
Well, I told Alex Deuce that I was going to say this, and he was like, "You're not going to do it." We play a ton of Call of Duty Zombies, and we call him 40 Downs Deuced because he is always on the ground, always needing to get revived. And I just want to make sure all the listeners at home know that he is terrible at Call of Duty.
Yes. See,
but
this
yeah,
is the good stuff.
Our offensive line, we hang out a ton. We go see movies. We go to dinner. We'll go. Noah is awesome. Got a nice spot. We all go over there and hang out, swim in the pool. Same with our line coach. Got a big house with a pool. We all go over there, watch the UFC fights. Our room spends a ton of time together, and really enjoy getting to be around those guys.
You like the
as much as
winters?
we do. Sorry, say that again.
The winters?
Oh my goodness, it's the best winter. I mean, I was in Michigan for 4 years.
Yeah.
You dread going outside in the winter there.
You walk out and go like, what? What is this?
Yeah, winter is sunny and 75. I had not experienced that before I got here. What a blessing.
Yeah, but what is two-a-days like in July?
Oh, it's awesome.
Okay.
It's our edge.
There you
go. It's Coach Daggy says all the time, if you and your buddy get in the sauna, who's going to get out first? And we train in the sauna, so it's going to be them. When Saturdays in September roll around and we got a noon kick and it's 96 degrees and the UV's 11, I promise you we'll be more ready for that than anybody else just because of what we have to deal with in June, July, and August.
Love it, man. Hey, you know what? I always love chatting with offensive linemen because you guys are real, and you're the ones actually doing the hard work out there. I appreciate it.
Hey, just keep it on the field, though, 5 to 10. We don't got time for that
No,
off the field.
definitely not.
All right.
Off the field, consummate professional.
That's
Awesome.
right, my guy.
Hey, thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah,
We appreciate
thank
it. Great conversation. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, as we continue on right here at Big 12 Media Day. And, man, that is you can wrap that hand around like twice. That is a big human being.
Thanks for coming on.
Apparently, the guy could hoop it a little bit, too.
Yeah, I had to ask. I mean,
6'8".
I ain't doing my job.
But, yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff.
Hi, how are you?
Joining us now, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, Chief Executive Officer for the Peach Bowl. Kind enough to join us, David Epps. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys? It's great to be talking college football again, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is. And the Peach Bowl, obviously, tremendous bowl game, a lot of history. And I know that you guys are excited to really get this thing going.
We are. We've been worried about another kind of football the past 8 weeks in Atlanta with the World Cup, so we're really excited. We sort of unabashedly call ourselves the capital of college football. So when we get to this time of year and we really get to start seeing it, talking about it, the energy grows. So we're really excited about what's going to happen with our Aflac kickoff game Labor Day and then finishing up the season with a quarterfinal in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Yeah. My only complaint, and it has nothing to do with the Peach Bowl people, as a loyal Arizona State grad, that was targeting on Texas 2 years ago, and I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to take that to my grave. So
I will tell you, such a phenomenal game, and I can't disagree with you. I didn't have the stripes on that day, but
the big brand gets the big breaks.
I tell you, that was the great thing about that game, though, was I think it was a little bit of a coming out party to remind everybody that the Big 12 can play with anybody when they're put on that field. And that was a special night. And, gosh, you're never going to see another Cam Scattaboo again.
That guy's something else.
Yeah, bull in a china shop.
Yeah. You got the kickoff, Baylor versus Auburn. That's a great game to kick things off.
Yeah, we're excited about that. Through our history in this game, we've done a variety of conferences and teams, but for us, a game like this is really interesting because you have two teams with huge upside. The expectations for either of them is probably not to win a conference, but you look at the talent, look at the moves they made in the offseason, sort of the momentum that's built around the transfers and the new coach, and almost to the same point about Texas-Arizona State, you get to create a good data point between two solid sort of middle-of-the-conference teams with huge upside to see how ACC and the Big 12 compare.
So the history of the Peach Bowl is one that's fascinating through the years, but what is it you guys are trying to what's the message you're getting out? This early in the season here with the Big 12 kicking things off.
Well, we're here for a number of reasons. One is that we feel like all the P4 conferences are important to us. We don't draw distinctions and say these are superior. We want to make sure that we're ready and prepared to host any and all of the teams that could be on our board. And ultimately for us, our customer is making sure that the CFP and the conference commissioners and the head coaches and the athletic directors, we create a good, positive, frictionless experience for them when they reach the postseason. Because we know that the bowl world has changed, obviously, and it's not a bowl week. This is a business trip more so than it's a reward for the players. We continue to try to focus in Atlanta. We as I said, we sort of unabashedly consider ourselves the capital of college football. We want to give a little taste of Atlanta, but we want to serve those constituencies, and that's the message we start telling this time of year, is that we're here to help support college football, make it better, make it easier, and when it's all said and done, make the teams that came through our game on the way to a national championship feel like it was the best experience they've ever had in a bowl.
That first game, not preseason, but pre-conference game, I guess you call it, how long does that take to get the teams, and what's the process as you go about setting those games up?
Man, that's a great question. There's no one path, which is you'd love it if there was a clear process. 2 years out, you talk to this person. But it really comes down to a perfect storm of scheduling, availability. In many cases, it has to do with teams maybe dropping somebody off their schedule. Maybe there was a home and home that they wanted to turn into a single neutral site. In this particular case, this was a home and home. Auburn came to Baylor last year, and we approached them and said, well, what if we took your game and moved it to Atlanta, put it on a little bit of a higher stage, a more elevated stage, Saturday the 5th, ABC. Yeah. It sort of elevates the entire process.
No question.
Gets the players and the coaches focused on something really important for us. So this was a case. And also for us, the neutral site games are really challenging these days, because with all the conferences going to 9 conference games, and if you have a 10th that's a rivalry game that's outside of your conference, schools really only have 2 to work with. Mm-hmm. And in most cases, coaches don't want to schedule a losable game,
we understand.
Right, for those 2.
Right,
And so the pickings are slim when you're trying to find these. So what we did is work with Auburn to say, what if we can bring this to Atlanta, and then we can funnel some of our NIL spend through the Auburn student athletes to help us promote it. So doing real traditional what NIL is supposed to be. Let them help us sell tickets, promote the broadcast, promote the events. And that turned out to be a separator, a differentiator between how other cities do these games and how we're going to try to do them going forward.
Well, that ought to resonate.
We think it will. But, if college football has taught us nothing, it's probably not going to look like what it looks like today 3 years from now. But we feel like we're building a better mousetrap so that if things continue the way they are, we can hopefully attract some more teams into Atlanta.
I know you have your relationship with AFLAC, and I know you guys have raised a lot of money through them as well.
We do. Our charitable mission for the Peach Bowl as a whole is not only on the bowl game, but it's also on the AFLAC kickoff game, which subtitle is Kickoff for a Cause. And because we use that game to help raise money to support childhood cancer awareness and treatments. And so over the past 6 or 7 years, we've ultimately invested almost $25 million in childhood cancer awareness and treatments. And AFLAC is obviously very committed to that. So it was a perfect marriage. And September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So the fact that we play this game Labor Day weekend, all those pieces dovetail perfectly. And, I like to say that if we do well, then we can do good. And we want to continue to do good in our communities and use college football to make more of an impact than people expect it to.
No peach jacket. Is there like an official peach jacket for the Peach Bowl? Because it always seems like when you see the bowl guys, they're always wearing the different color blazers.
I laugh because I've been with the bowl 32 years, and when I started, there was actually a peach blazer. But we started having to give people glasses to keep their retinas from being burned out.
That's happened the last couple of days, just different people.
Oh, there are a bunch of walking out here. So
Oh, yeah.
I remember in the early 90s, we said, you know what, let's just go to a blue blazer.
Smart.
And everybody universally said, done, let's do it. And so we're happy to.
Hey, we appreciate you today in that blue blazer, man.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, thanks for coming by. We really appreciate it. And we'd love to get a team out there because I'd love to get to Atlanta for sure.
Well, we'd love to have you, and hope you guys have a great remainder of Media Days.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so
stopping.
much.
Appreciate you guys.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, Scott Gerard. The coach, Tim Lacombe, Patrick Kinahan. That's David Epps, Chief Executive Officer of the Peach Bowl, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, let's get back to the players as we stay with the theme of of Arizona coming through once again. And joining us now, let's go to a wide receiver, Chris Hunter, the third.
Yes,
Hi, Chris.
sir.
How are you?
Doing? I'm doing great. Having a lot of fun out here.
What's it like having another year with Noah Fafita? Like, I'm sure his DMs were blowing up at the end of the year. A lot of people trying to pry him away, but to have him back for another year, what does that mean for this offense?
I think, that's just a testament to who he is as a person, having enough trust and feeling like, what we have to run it back one last time is more than enough. So, I have all the trust and confidence in him, and to have, like, a great quarterback like him, it makes my job easier. I feel like he's the best quarterback in the nation. So, to have him is very special.
I'm sure your DMs are blowing up too. And you've been with the team since 2022, so you've had opportunities. What were those combinations like conversations like between the two of you saying, you know what, let's finish here?
Honestly, it was, I think him and our OC were one of the first ones who was like, I'm bought in, I'm staying. And I think it's much easier when you see like a quarterback of his caliber letting you know, like, hey, I'm in it. Like, let me know what I need to do for you, like, to have you here. Let me know. Like, he's always looking out for people. So to have that trust and have that, bond with him, I've been with him. We came in the same class. So naturally I'm like, if those guys are here, I feel like I'd be a fool to leave. So
it looks like there's an opportunity for somebody to be their leading receiver because the two leading receivers from last year are gone, right? Now you got a couple of guys along with you, yourself, and these other guys. How do you handle that competition? I mean, I know it's a friendly competition, but everybody wants to be the man, and you want to be T-Mac. Who doesn't, right? Yeah. Obviously, I mean, it was a star receiver, and there's going to be somebody that Fafita is going to like. Who's it going to be?
Yeah. I think naturally that competitiveness only elevates everybody in the room. So naturally you would say, like, you put your talent against anybody else, but, all those guys out there, like all our receiving core, those are my guys. Those are my boys, and any one of them can step up any day of the week. So I can't step up in front of you right now and be like, oh, it's for sure this, that, it's for – because I feel like that'd be doing a disservice to what we're kind of building and our bond as a receiver group. But we have a lot of guys who can play, like a lot. I think this is one of the deepest receiver rooms I've ever been a part of. And naturally, I think it allows, like, for example, me and Tre, who are here right now, to step up in a bigger role this year, to have more opportunities. And that's all you can ask for.
You just, like, make sure you bring lunch over to Fafita and stuff and do those types of things?
I mean, nah. You want to keep it authentic. You don't ever worry about that. At the end of the day, he has to trust you for you to get the ball. So you just being yourself around him and naturally creating that bond will allow him to feed you on the team. And, we're going to do big things this year as an offense. So I think everybody will be fed.
You're coming off a redshirt season. Is that right? Did you play last year?
Yeah, I played last year. My redshirt year is my freshman year.
Oh, your freshman year.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Yes,
I just saw the redshirt. So in terms of your chemistry with him, it's always been pretty good. Is this time of the year, are there things you can work on in terms of that, just the chemistry and cohesion as a group and also with the quarterback? Is that something y'all are working on right now?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like if you feel too comfortable this early, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's always little things, We're doing routes almost every day. Maybe we didn't like the angle on this certain route. Maybe we felt like the timing on this one still a little off. Still a little small things you need to work on. So, yeah, we're still always fine-tuning things to make sure we hitting on all cylinders. Because if we could look really good now and then expand upon that by season, that's setting us up for success.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you coming by, man.
Yes,
good luck this upcoming season. Looking forward to catching up with you down the line.
100%. Thank y'all so much. God bless.
There he is, Chris Hunter, wide receiver,
Chris.
University of Arizona, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, we'll take a break. Been at it for a bit. We'll get back to the players, the coaches, as we are live here at Big 12 Media Day in Frisco, Texas. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.